May the 31st, 2023. Guys, you're looking at images over the Gulf of Mexico from the SATs, and they're talking about a 20% chance of development of this system. You see the spinning right in the northeastern section of the Gulf. And when I do the hurricane videos, of course, my husky booger wants to come in and comment. So expect that. I hear him coming in now. But I did a video last week about the system it only had a 10% chance of development off the East Coast. And a lot of you guys paid attention to it because it got up to 80-mile-per-hour winds and 20-foot seas. Now, one of the cruise lines, I think maybe coming out of Charleston, right in that area, they weren't paying attention. They sent a boatload of people out into the Atlantic. It took them 8 or 9 hours extra to get in. They had 80-mile-per-hour winds, 20-foot seas. It tore the bottom decks out. They had to pull people up into the upper decks. The ship was leaning or listing. People were panicked. Again, they couldn't get back into harbor. And it makes you wonder about these cruise lines. You know, they have the most advanced radar, the most advanced weather alert systems. All naval vessels do, even the smallest ones, guys. I know I've had Coast Guard inspections on a couple of my boats. You have to have certain equipment. So I guess the money meant more than the safety of the passengers and crew in that case. Here, though, we have a 20% chance of development. And like I've said before, the weather's been very strange for the last couple of years. This year, very intense. It looks like there's been quite a bit of manipulation, to be honest with you. Now, when you get up into hurricane season, you get the very big storms, you've got a mixture of some manipulation and just the sheer power of the storms. Anyway, this one's going to head across the Florida Panhandle. Let's take a look at that. Now, looking at the 7-day forecast, again, remember they went from a 2 and a 5-day forecast to now it's a 2-day forecast and a 7-day. 20% chance of development as of 8 a.m. Eastern this morning. Eastern Gulf of Mexico. An area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms is associated with a surface trough of low pressure interacting with an upper-level trough over the eastern Gulf of Mexico. Environmental conditions appear only marginally favorable for additional development over the next several days as the system meanders over the eastern Gulf. Then the system is then forecast to move across the Florida Peninsula this weekend and emerge into the southwestern Atlantic Ocean by early next week. Regardless of development, the system could produce heavy rainfall and gusty winds over portions of the Florida Peninsula later this week. Additional information on the rainfall and flooding potential can be found in products issued by your local National Weather Service Forecast Office and excessive rainfall outlooks issued by the Weather Prediction Center. In 48-hour forecast, 10%, 7-day, 20%. We're just going to have to watch it, guys, because the other storm was a 10% chance. Again, it got up to 80-mile-per-hour winds in the Atlantic, and this thing's going to emerge over there. And I'm just a little concerned this year because of the extremity of the weather patterns that we've seen. Now, also, I'm going to put a link below to something I left out of the last video about Enoch. I linked the 3 books by Mr. Burns and Paul Bruce as the proofreader. And 2 different original authors were involved in that, and what they've done is piece all of this together. What I didn't do, there are places that you can go to and do a free download on the PDFs of some of the translations of the book of Enoch. And those are very interesting in themselves. You can pull them up. What I like is you can pull it up on the PDF and then enlarge it on your screen. If your eyes are getting old like mine, it kind of helps sometimes. But I'll put that in there below, guys, and just pay attention to this as it develops for the next few days, moves over Florida. One thing, I just about can guarantee you're going to see possible water spouts, but when it gets ashore, watch for the tornadoes. Now, that's a heads up on that. And as we're watching a lot of things, some we cannot talk about. The situation in Europe right now between those two powers, basically NATO and Russia, is escalating. There's less and less news coming out of there, but Russia's advancing pretty hard from the east to the west. And we're looking at major moves by people like the UK and France that want to push in the F-16 fighters. If they do that, there's going to be major problems coming out of Russia. Just telling you that. But look for the links below to the free PDF downloads on the Book of Enoch. We're watching it. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.